Hello guys and welcome back to another episode of our Sheffield United career mode. It's a big one today as we return with the FA Cup final, looking to complete a domestic double after we clinched the Premier League in last episode. We'll finish off today's episode by having an in-depth look at our season and around the world at the other leagues, but for now let's just jump straight into things. It's Tottenham at Wembley as we look to retain our FA Cup trophy. Come on, you Blades. So off we go at Wembley then. Sheffield United against Spurs for the oldest cup competition there is. We're looking to retain it after beating Arsenal in the semi-finals. We now face their North London rivals, of course, and I'm feeling pretty confident. Spurs had a poor season down in 10th place, I think it was, and it's just over Dom. We've got a lot of firepower in our front line with Calvert-Lewin, who was in great form to close out the season, and Nilos Kaya as well, who since returning from his loan has been so good in this competition in particular. So yeah, feeling confident that we can get the job done today, and we've made a really promising start as Dom smashes in the opener. And it's taken just 10 minutes for the Blades to find the breakthrough. Positive start, and we've got our reward. Well, Spurs appealing for a handball there as it rolled down onto what looked like Calvert-Lewin's arm. Not given by the referee or VAR. And Postecoglou not happy. But regardless, the Blades take the lead here at Wembley. Lee dispossessed by Hayden. It's been a really positive start from us here. This is exactly what I wanted. And Kirkes down the left. If we can get a second here. Kirkes back to Luca, and it is 2. How about that? Sheffield United double their lead. And after just 15 minutes, we've got one hand on the trophy already. What a start here at Wembley. Núñez in behind, looking to pull Spurs back into this. Still Darwin Núñez, 2 for company, gets the shot away, and Gavin Bazunu gets behind it to turn it away, and Postecoglou making an early change here. Late corner for Spurs here just before the break. Lee swings it in. Núñez free header, big save by Gavin, and it should be cleared, and is. Massive stop at the end of the first half to keep it at 2-0 as Darwin Núñez is denied once again. Well, still 45 minutes to play here. And that chance has just shown that it's not over for Spurs just yet. If they get the next goal, they are well and truly back into this game as Ange looks to his bench once again. But if we can secure a third with Luca, oh, that is brilliant. That is brilliant from Luca, and that should seal it. I want to see that again on the replay because I don't know if you saw it in real time, but that is so clever from Luca. Played down the left to Kirkes, drilled into the middle, and it's just a little sort of hop, a little skip to let it come across his body, and then prods it into the corner through the legs of DCL, and that might be the goal that finishes off Spurs. Lee looks to take on the captain, but Anel shuts the door. And Gavin flicks it out to Renshi. Now Hayden into Ibrahim. Dom ahead of him. And now Luca. Lovely skill. Wants a hat-trick, but instead gives it to Nilos. Back to Luca. That is brilliant. And the Blades are just toying with Tottenham as Luca secures his hat-trick in the final. And the trophy, if it wasn't already, is ours. What a goal. Oh no, don't throw away the clean sheet. Big save by Gavin in the last minute of the game. And we want to see this out for Gavin. Zach Steffen's not really featured too much for us this season. And even in the Cups, it has been Gavin. And that is going to do it. And the fourth goal completely killed the game. as Spurs did not have an answer. Had a couple of chances through Darwin Núñez, but just couldn't compete with the quality that we had. And Luka Sučić in particular scoring a Wembley hat-trick in the FA Cup final to secure the trophy for the Blades after Dom gave us the lead inside 10 minutes. After winning a European double last season with the Europa League and the FA Cup, well, we've added to our trophy cabinet, retaining the FA Cup this season, but also adding our very first Premier League trophy as well. It's been a fantastic season once again, and Anel will have the opportunity to lift the FA Cup for the second time in 2 seasons here at Wembley, as the Blades are your FA Cup winners in 2028. Go and enjoy it, lads. So there it is then, FA Cup and Premier League double winners, Sheffield United. Obviously knocked out early. Who knocked us out? Was it the 3rd round we were knocked out? I know it was right at the beginning of the competition. It was the 4th round where we lost at home to Aston Villa. But the champions, though, yeah, not too sure how that would have gone. And then Bayern Munich and then Milan. So I don't think we would have made it all the way. But we will be back again next season, as we will look to make it to the final of the Champions League. So we'll take a look at who won the European competitions this year, starting off with the Conference League, which was won by the Spaniards. Villarreal beating Chelsea in the final. The Europa League was won by Marseille beating Frankfurt in the final. And the Champions League, well, was it won by Real Madrid or was it AC Milan? It was, of course, the Galacticos, Real Madrid. Why does that not surprise me? Yeah, really, really strong campaign for Real Madrid. And even if we'd made it through PSG, I'm not sure that we would have made it through Madrid. So there are the European winners. We know the domestic cup and league winners as well. Let's go and take a look at some of the other nations as well. So coming up from the Championship this year, Brentford and Bournemouth. And then we've got Watford, Southampton, Luton and Stoke City sneaking into the playoffs. I'd love to see Stoke coming up this year through the playoffs. Ligue 1 was, of course, won by the Parisians. PSG, so hard to stop in France. And it's another league title from Mbappe and Paris Saint-Germain. The Bundesliga similarly was won by FC Bayern Munich. Leverkusen in second, although will it be a different story in real life with Leverkusen seemingly taking pole position at the moment. In Italy, the Serie A was won by AC Milan, pipping Juventus by 2 points and reaching a Champions League final. So very solid season for AC Milan. The Liga Portugal was won by SC Braga. Very interesting that. We've obviously got a soft spot for Benfica, but it's Braga picking up the trophy this season. The Saudi League was won by Cristiano Ronaldo's former team Al Nassr. Ronaldo not there anymore, but still winning the Saudi Pro League. The Premiership won by Celtic by just 2 points above Rangers. You know it's going to be one of those two, but this time it is Celtic pipping their close rivals Rangers. La Liga was won by Barcelona, with Real Madrid finishing outside of the top 4. So that Champions League win does mean they'll be playing CL football next year. But Osasuna into the top 4 and will be joining them in Europe's Elite next season. And we'll do one more, as the Turkish Super League was won by Galatasaray, beating Fenerbahce to the trophy by 10 points. So that's what's happened around the world. Let's go and take a look at some of the individual player stats, as we've got some awards to give out. And starting off with the Golden Boot winner, Dominic Calvert-Lewin, new record set for most goals scored in a Premier League season. I'm a little bit gutted that he didn't make it 38 in 38 to make it a perfect 1-in-1 ratio, but 37 goals for DCL this campaign. And 6 assists for DCL as well, as you see Matthews and Kirkes with 7, Alcaraz with 8. But it was Luka Sučić with limited game time this year due to injury, who still managed to pick up the assist title with 13 in just 22 games. And Gavin Bazunu won the Golden Glove with 21 clean sheets, way out ahead of anyone else. But missing out on Petr Cech's record of, I think it was 24 that Cech got. So to close out today's episode, I think I'm going to run through the squad hub and we'll take a look at our team for next season. Starting off with our goalkeeper, Zach Steffen, didn't feature much this season, and I think with just 1 year left on his contract, there's every chance that he leaves the club in the upcoming summer transfer window. Obviously, Gavin's going to be our number one, and I think that Aliu's going to come back and play as our cup keeper. Now at 18 years of age, he's had a couple of loan spells, but I think he's going to grow just as much if we keep him here. Only 3 appearances in the Premier League for Leicester this year, so Steffen likely to be sold, and Aliu will come back and be our cup keeper. But for Gavin Bazunu, grew another rating to 85 and averaged a clean sheet in every other game for us this season. 25 in 50 and a very, very solid season for Gavin. Kirkes was brilliant for us again, second full season at the club. 37 games played, just the 1 goal in the Premier League, but 12 assists as well. Really, really solid down that left-hand side and created an attacking threat going forward. Patrick Nicholson up by 3, pretty good growth for him this year, covering both flanks at fullback. So yeah, really, really good squad player and always feel confident when he needs to step in. Harry Maguire, annoyingly not retiring this season, but I do imagine as we head into next he will retire with only a year left on his deal. 72 overall now, and he's just never really going to play, but he did pop up with 1 goal in the Champions League this year. So Harry will always love you, even though you've got no legs anymore and cannot run. Anel, solid as ever from the captain. I think he was the most capped player this season with 53 appearances. Cropped up with 1 goal as well, and 25 clean sheets in those 53 games is very solid. Jared and Malik sort of shared the game time out between them. Malik's grown a rating, no great growth from Jared, but both very solid when they do play. A goal and an assist for Malik, but I do think potentially if we're looking to elevate our team next year, centre-back partner for Anel is maybe the one position we could improve, although Malik was very solid this year. Andrew didn't really feature much, but he is only really a rotation option. Decent bit of growth from Walker out on loan at Norwich, and Georgios slowly getting there out on loan at Watford. But Stefanos Samaras now up to 74 overall. He's doing pretty well, and he is back in the summer. I love his physicals. Absolutely rapid and really, really strong. So Stefanos is getting there, but probably will go out on loan again next year. Carl Walker, as we know, is retiring. He's gone down by 6 ratings this year to 65 overall, and he wasn't really usable towards the end of the season. Just the 5 appearances, and yeah, happy that he's retiring. Hoover was actually pretty solid, only signed on deadline day as a sort of backup option, but he played in the Cups and made a few appearances in the Premier League as well, and was actually pretty solid when he did play. So yeah, not too bad from Kiana Hoover. Renchi was of course brought in as one of our main summer signings, and he was okay. Obviously first season sort of settling in, still pretty young at 25 years of age. Played most of our games in the Premier League, no goals and only the 2 assists, but he was definitely an upgrade on Jaden, who was happy to take a sort of bench role. Sangare, very, very solid for us again this year. 30 years of age now, and I think we gave him a new contract during the season, so he's got 2 years left on his deal, and yeah, you can see by those average ratings, just very, very impressive. Doesn't do anything too flashy, but just goes about his business and is a real rock at the base of that midfield. And Vinicius Souza is a decent backup option for him as well. Again, you can see the average ratings there when he did play. Generally pretty solid from Vinicius Souza, and got a fair amount of game time this year as well. Darko still out on loan at Lazio, but didn't grow a single rating, and to be honest, I think I might look to sell him in the summer. Tom Powell, decent bit of growth out on loan in Portugal. He's still got another year out on loan there. Leandro Paredes didn't feature as much this year, just the 17 appearances split across all competitions. And I think, to be honest, it may have been Leandro's final season at the club. 33 years of age now, declined by 3 ratings, and that's only going to get worse next season. A year left on his deal, and he's generally pretty solid when he plays, but I think now is the time to let Leandro go. For Gus Harmer, a little bit of a redemption story for him. We were looking at potentially selling him in the summer, gave him a new deal in the end. Now at the age of 30, well, he's still got it. 4 goals and 3 assists in all competitions, and ended up playing in half of our Premier League games and made 30 appearances across all competitions. So very, very solid from Gus as now just a squad player. But yeah, really impressed with him, and he'll definitely be staying for next year. Jacob Ramsey was okay in his first season, but actually looking at the stats, Gus Harmer equalled him for the number of goals and got more assists. So just the 4 goals and 1 assist from Jacob from that midfield position. A little bit underwhelming from him, but I'm hoping that he's really going to push on next season, and we might see some bigger returns from him. Hayden Hackney grew another rating, solid as always. His numbers did drop off from last year, just the 1 goal and 4 assists, but to be honest, that's not really Hayden's role in this team. He's the box-to-box, he's the workhorse, and he's so good and a vital component in this team. Again, you can see from the average rating in the Premier League and the FA Cup as well, very, very solid. Gabriel actually made more appearances than Hayden in all competitions, and similarly very, very solid. 2 goals and 6 assists from Gabriel. Doesn't seem like he's growing at all anymore. You can see he's got the hold on his attributes, but I know what I'm going to get from Gabriel, and he always puts in a shift. A couple of the players out on loan: Alistair Sim up to 71 overall, Freddie Wade up to 70, so a nice bit of growth on those two. Seamus Allen didn't feature a huge amount this season, and although the average ratings are pretty low in most of the competitions, he always does a job when he steps in. Grown 3 ratings as well, up to 80 overall now, so definitely a usable squad player. And I think if Leandro goes, he'll definitely be used a little bit more next season. So yeah, solid from our youth academy grad. Carlos Alcaraz, solid season for him, and I actually got on with him more than I did last campaign. 6 goals and 10 assists for the Argentine, and obviously had to step in whilst Luka Sucic went down, and did a pretty good job sharing the game time with Harry Matthews. Just the 3 goals for Matthews, but 14 assists in all competitions, with 7 of those coming in the Premier League, and growing by 3 ratings as well. Again, he's a very, very solid option. He's always going to be behind the main man, Luka Sucic, but yeah, Matthews and Carlos both did really well when called upon this season. Luka Sucic, the main man, 14 goals, 18 assists, and he had another injury hit season. If he'd been firing all season long, I think that his numbers would have been incredible as they were last year. But you can see the average rating in all competitions over 8, which is just incredible. And yeah, he's such an important part of the team. When he doesn't play, we're nowhere near as good. Decent bit of growth for Demetriou out on loan as well, and he is back in the summer. But with Matthews, Sucic and Alcaraz all ahead of him, I think Demetriou's probably going to head out on another loan spell. He is looking very good, and I would use him, but he's just not going to get much game time in this team. So probably another loan spell for Demetriou. Very good loan in America. Good development on him. Georgios, again, decent development out in the Netherlands with Ajax. Ewan Stone is coming back to us next year and has grown another 4 ratings up to 77 overall. Looks a very, very decent option. Again, not sure how much game time he's going to get as an attacking midfielder, but I could see us using him potentially slightly deeper as a box-to-box midfielder. And we've also got this man, Malik Diaby, returning to us as well. 77 overall for him. We're going to have some real decent options. I'm not sure whether to loan these guys back out or just keep them for next season as squad players. Gordon Mitchell, decent season for him out on loan at Rennes. Grew by 2 ratings and now up to 78 overall. He's got another year out on loan, yes. So we won't see him returning. Same as Jordan Winter out on loan at Bournemouth. Grew by 2 ratings and up to 75 overall. Along with Joaquin Pardo, so we've definitely got some options out on loan at the moment. Joaquin is returning as well, but again at 18 years of age, we'll probably look to loan him out once again. And then our attacking players for this season, Dominic Calvert-Lewin, 31 years of age now, but still grew by 2 ratings to 84. We know how good he was in the Premier League with those 37 goals, new record breaker. And to think we look to try and replace him with Evan Ferguson at the start of this campaign, we won't make that mistake again. Both João Pedro and Cameron Archer, weird seasons for the two of them because they both ended up with a similar amount of game time and a similar amount of returns. Archer with less goals but more assists, and I'm honestly not too sure what my plan is going forward, because I do think that sort of left striker role next to Calvert-Lewin is a position we could look to upgrade, similarly to centre-back, but it would probably mean selling one of either João Pedro or Cameron Archer, and out of the two of them, I'm not too sure who it would be that I would look to sell. Definitely something to consider for next season, as it does look as if one of them may be heading out the door. Evan Ferguson, decent first season for him. A lot of his game time in the Premier League coming off the bench because his Calvert-Lewin was just so impressive. But 5 goals in 8 appearances in the Champions League was very solid. And he did pop up with 13 goals and 3 assists in all competitions. Daniel Jebbison, very limited game time for him in most competitions this season. Most of his appearances coming off the bench, but he did still grow a rating and popped up with 3 goals and 5 assists. So we'll always have a special place for Daniel Jebbison. Couple more players out on loan. Connor Manning, decent loan spell for him. Neil Conlon, who I think returns to us in the summer, along with Reece Matthews, Harry's brother, who's now up to 76 overall. Not too sure what to do with him again, as Nilos Kaya has come back, grown 5 ratings this season and popped up with 5 goals and 2 assists after he arrived back at the club in January. So we're going to have loads and loads of options in midfield and up front next season. So I'm not too sure what my transfer plans are. But as I've mentioned, just to end today's episode, going to quickly run through our transfer list. Got loads of players on here, as I've just sort of been keeping players from season on season. So we've got loads of names on here. Let me know if you've got any recommendations of any signings. But I think for me, the main position, as I've mentioned, that I'm looking to invest in are at centre-back, where I've got a couple of names on the list, real elite level centre-backs. William Saliba is probably my main target to partner Anel for next season, but he's going to cost us around 100 million. Got a couple of other names on here as well. Gerhi and Antonio Silva, Josko Gvardiol as well, who might be slightly cheaper than William Saliba, and Fikayo Tomori as well at Real Madrid, now 30 years of age, but we could look to bring him back to England. Lots of options in lots of different positions, but as I say, I think my main targets are at centre-back and also striker as well, where I've got quite a few options, which we'll get to in just a moment time. But there is one man that is my main transfer target for that position, and I'm just trying to get to him. He's going to be the last man on the list. There he is, Eli Wahi of Everton. We know that they finished outside of Europe this season and last season, and he's always a threat when we play them. 88 overall, 94 finishing, and I think he would be the real next step up on Archer and João Pedro. So Wahi and Saliba / Gvardiol, my main transfer targets for next year. Depends how much money we've got and who we look to shift on. But let me know if you've got any transfer suggestions of your own down in the comments. But guys, that is where we will leave it for today's episode. Double winners, Sheffield United. We'll be back next year going for the Champions League as we look to push forward in Europe's elite. We're going to have lots of players coming back in the summer transfer window, so lots to crack on with. And I will catch you for that next episode with the new season, Season 6, starting with our Blades very soon. Peace.